Good morning from California. I know it's not morning in places where some of you live, but I am in Central California and it's a beautiful, beautiful morning here. We've been having an unusually cold spring, so we're delighted to be seeing the sun and getting some warmth here. I am Ariana Newcomer, Dove Oracle Priestess, and my topic today is healing Earth and things that we can do to help outside of the, of course, bigger things like changing our driving habits, using less electricity and fossil fuels, stop using plastics as much as we can. What can we do energetically to help heal Earth? And we actually have a lot of tools that we can use. And the coherence practices that I have been receiving from one of my guides and will be starting to teach soon are really wonderful in creating clear, coherent energy within ourselves that we can then use to actually send into Earth. Because Earth's magnetic fields are changing right now. And if we, as we clear ourselves, we can become a channel to help bring energy from cosmos to Earth to help stabilize and reestablish those ley lines, the magnetic lines under Earth, which we actually all depend on for our health and well-being. And when they're shifting and changing, sometimes because of man-made, people-made things, electromagnetic fields, Wi-Fi, etc., we can actually help to reestablish those ley lines so that we can all be healthier. All beings on Earth can come back into a greater health and well-being in our electromagnetic selves. So if you're not aware, there's something called the Schumann resonances, which are considered to be the frequencies of Earth. And these are very deep, low frequencies. They're below the range of human hearing, but they can be measured by our current instrumentation, which isn't sophisticated enough to measure very well things like the subtle energies of the human energy field and other subtle energies. And this is actually a new science, which is really exciting. The science of subtle energy. We're beginning to be able to allow for and understand these subtle energies. At any rate, these very low frequencies, which are the frequencies of Earth, are the Schumann resonances. And you may have heard it called the Schumann resonance as if it were one single frequency. And there is one frequency that's considered predominant. And so connecting ourselves to that frequency and its harmonics, because sounds in nature never have they're not a pure tone. The only pure tones we have are generated on computers. In our culture, all other sounds have overtones. They're a rich harmony of sound and its overtones. And so when we tune ourselves in to those harmonics of the Schumann resonances, it helps us connect with those deep Earth frequencies. And this is one reason why I always say, I don't want you to raise your vibration. I don't want you to raise your frequency. It's been a teaching in the spiritual world for a very long time that we all need to raise our vibration and we need to stay higher, at a higher vibration. This doesn't take into account that then we disconnect ourselves from Earth. So what we really need to be doing, according to my guides, when I've asked them, why has this teaching been that we need to raise our frequency when it's really, that doesn't make any sense. As a musician, that's never made any sense to me. And they said, well, that's just a simplification. And what you really need to do is harmonize your frequencies. So we need to reharmonize ourselves to the Schumann resonances, and they do fluctuate. And so we need to be able to have that flexibility in our systems to come into resonance with wherever they are at the time. So the coherence practices help us do that, come into resonance, and then we can resonate with Earth. And some of the energies that run into Earth come actually from the lightning, which is created in our atmosphere and it comes down and actually brings some of this energy into Earth, down into Earth. So we can think of lightning as a really scary thing. However, it does bring this energy, like the energy of the plasma winds, the solar winds, down into the Earth, where it can be used and helps to create this wonderful electromagnetic field that is the field that helps us thrive. It nourishes us and helps us thrive, and it actually nourishes every being on Earth, everything on Earth. So we can be kind of like the lightning as we connect ourselves to deep Earth, and we connect ourselves to our higher spiritual selves, our higher spiritual chakras, if you will. But we also have to connect into the deep Earth chakras that we have. And then we create the harmony and the harmonic resonance that brings us into the greatest alignment, and then allows us to help channel energy from cosmos into Earth. And we can do this consciously. Another practice that I have been doing for several years is called subtle activism. It's developed by David Nicol, Nicol, in its current form. And it's really a kind of reimagination of the ancient practice of collective prayer. So we can get together as humans and combine our intentions to send our energy into Earth to help healing and rebalancing on the planet. And we can send our energies also into the collective of humanity, the collective consciousness, or if you've read Jung, he called it the collective unconscious. But the more we can become aware of it, the more we bring it into consciousness, it becomes a collective consciousness. And we can begin to help heal and shift the consciousness of humanity. So these coherence practices that I've received are very powerful in terms of, again, aligning and harmonizing our own energies and our various intelligences that we carry as both human and divine beings, beings of Earth, beings of spirit, so that we can help heal Earth and heal the collective. So if you are interested in learning about the beta group, the first group that I am gathering to begin teaching these coherence practices, leave me a message here and I will get back to you with information. And it's really very exciting to be able to work on these higher and deeper levels. So deeper as we go deeper into Earth, higher as we go higher into what we think of usually as spirit is up here, but spirit is also in Earth, under Earth. So the underground waters, the crystals, the crystal beings that are under Earth, all the various earth, rock, water, fire under Earth, and these magnetic ley lines, the lines of energy running under Earth, those are all of spirit also. They have their own spirit beings that we can communicate with. And we clear our own energy with these coherence practices, and then we can do very, very powerful subtle activism, sending our energy out to help heal Earth and heal the collective. And this is something that I do also in the Wise Women Immersion Group program. And the women who've been through that program, many are participating in a monthly circle now because they wanted to continue the subtle activism practice. They found that it was so powerful and they loved it so much that they wanted to continue. So there are these ways that we can use our energy to help heal Earth and help heal the collective. And if you've heard of the 100th monkey phenomenon, this was an interesting story where monkeys on an island, one monkey started using a blade of grass. This was a female, started using a blade of grass to dip into an anthill to get ants out to eat. And other monkeys watched her, and those that saw began to do it too. And so in this particular colony of monkeys, soon they were all using this tool of the blade of grass to get food out of anthills. And then all of a sudden, people started noticing that monkeys in completely different places, not on this island, that had nothing to do with this group of monkeys, so they couldn't have seen it happening and copy it. Suddenly, the knowledge had been transmitted to these other monkeys, and they began doing it too. So we don't have to actually get everybody, every human, to start doing these coherence practices, create this inner alignment and harmony. And of course, there are other practices that you can do to create this inner harmony and alignment. The more of us that do it, the sooner we reach the tipping point where it becomes it goes out into the collective consciousness and becomes part of our collective energetic field. And that creates the shift that we're longing for. So don't lose heart, dear ones. I know things look bleak now, and there are still these things that we can do to help create the shift into the kind of world that we are longing for, in which we have right relationship with nature, so that we can have a climate that will continue to allow us to live, and we can support each other as human beings instead of trying to dominate and disempower each other. We can hold power with each other, and we can empower each other and treat each other with respect and compassion. So if you're interested, again, in the coherence practices, please comment below. I'll also put a link to my online calendar where you can schedule a conversation to talk with me further about the coherence practices or the Wise Women Immersion or private mentoring. See you next time.